Here's how I make Instant Pot roast beef sandwiches. So I start out with a couple of tablespoons of Dijon mustard. To that I added some cream horseradish. I only had a little bit left in this jar, but I decided to use it up for this. Then a few chopped cloves of garlic. Mix that all together. Now here I have a boneless beef top loin roast. I'm seasoning that up very generously with salt and pepper on both sides. Next, you brush on your mustard mixture. On both sides, obviously. Next, get your Instant Pot out and add a cup of water to the bottom. Then put your trivet down. And then put your beef on top of that. I had to cut mine in half so that it would fit comfortably. Then we put the lid on, make sure that the valve is set to sealing. We go to high pressure for 50 minutes. And while that's cooking, it's the perfect time to make some caramelized onions. So I have a little bit of olive oil and butter in this pan, and to it I'm adding a lot of onions. This was 4 whole sliced onions. I wonder who threw that in there. So you just have this on medium-low heat, and you just want to caramelize your onions down and stir them every so often, obviously making sure that they don't burn, but you want them to get really soft and sweet, and they'll cook down a ton. As you can see, these are getting some good color on them. And once they've cooked down a lot, you can add in a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Look how much they cooked down. Set those aside for later. Now, the Instant Pot has been releasing naturally for 10 minutes, so you go ahead and you can release it manually for the last amount of pressure. I use tongs because I'm scared of burning my fingers. And once the pressure's released, take the lid off, and here's what your roast quote-unquote beef looks like. And here it is, just resting for a little bit on top of those onions. And once it's rested for a while, at least 10 to 15 minutes, you can cut it. You want to cut it against the grain. But this cut so easily, it almost was just falling apart. Like you didn't even really need a knife. It could have just shredded by hand, probably. And there it is, all cut up. Then you prepare your buns. I split mine open, and then I brush them with a mixture of olive oil, garlic, and green onions. And I toast them in the oven. I just set my oven on broil and put them in there until they're nice and golden brown, like this. Now it's time to build the sandwiches. I put a little layer of mayo down and some freshly sliced tomatoes and then some arugula. It gives a nice peppery bite. And then your steak, or your roast beef rather. And maybe put it on there less awkwardly than me, but so graceful. And then the star, one of the stars, is this smoked blue cheese. It goes so well with the roast beef. But that is if you like blue cheese, which I happen to love. And then you can't forget your caramelized onions. Now do your best to close those up. And there you have a very delicious and beautiful roast beef sandwich. And the roast beef was ready in less than an hour. We served it with a little side salad. I definitely couldn't eat all of this. It was a lot of food and a treat. We don't eat beef that much, but this was very good and I really enjoyed it.